Krishna, welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. Thank you for taking out your precious time and coming to attend this Bhagavad Gita class. We are continuing our discussion from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are on chapter 5th, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. In this chapter, Krishna is describing how one can practice Nishkama Karma Yoga. That means one can work, one can be in this world, one can go on doing the worldly responsibilities, but at the same time not get affected by the results of the work. That is called as Nishkama Karma Yoga. We have heard in the previous chapters there is a yoga ladder. The lowest in that yoga is Karma Kand, and even below that is the animalistic life, where animals don't think about anything more than eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's all. That is animal life. And the more one tries to enjoy things in this world, tries to enjoy material things, then one understands इसमें इतना मजा नहीं आ रहा है. After many births, this realization may come. It is not worth it. And then he starts thinking, maybe I should offer something to God also. I don't know who he is, but I should offer to God. And that's where he comes to the level of Karma Yoga. Karma Kand, not Karma Yoga yet. Karma Kand means he continues to do the same activities but for his own sense gratification predominantly. उसको अभी भी खुद की इंद्रिय तृप्ति चाहिए. He doesn't want to do anything with God much. But he thinks यार इसमें मजा नहीं आ रहा है, थोड़ा just like वो खाने के ऊपर नींबू डालते हैं, क्यों डालते हैं? फ्लेवर बढ़ता है, टेस्ट बढ़ता है. So he thinks खाली इंद्रिय तृप्ति करके मजा नहीं आ रहा है. So I should add a flavor of being spiritual also. Maybe that will increase my enjoyment. That is the level of Karma Kand, where a person is interested in his own sense gratification, enjoy in this world, but थोड़ा भगवान के लिए भी थोड़ा देना चाहिए कभी कभी. इससे जीवन अच्छा चलता है. Sometimes you should go to temple also. भगवान को प्रणाम करना चाहिए, so that we can enjoy better. And then after some time one thinks, I'm giving something to God, but still I'm not so happy yet. So he thinks maybe थोड़ा और ज़्यादा देना पड़ेगा भगवान को. Then he comes to the level of Sakama Karma Yoga. Now he adds Krishna very nicely in his life. That is yoga. But still predominantly the purpose is I should enjoy. And then gradually from Sakam, what is the next level? Nishkama Karma Yoga, where a person offers all the results of his actions to God and does not want anything for himself. This is the level which Krishna is teaching here in this 5th chapter. He taught this in 3rd chapter also and 5th chapter also. Same thing he is repeating here. Nishkama Karma Yoga with more details. And then gradually after, if you are offering your everything to somebody, you will want to know about him. किसको दे रहे हैं भाई, पता तो करें. Then comes the next level, that is called as Jnana Yoga. After knowing about a person, one may think, अरे सुना तो बहुत है, अभी देखने की भी इच्छा हो रही है. I want to see who is that God. Then one goes to the next level, that is called as Ashtanga Yoga. And then after seeing God, he gets so mesmerized by the qualities and the beauty of this person, he thinks, I want to serve him without any motive. And that is the level of Bhakti Yoga. So many steps are there, idhar se idhar tak. So by the practice of Krishna consciousness, we have surpassed all these steps. Karma Kanda, Sakama, Nishkama, Jnana, Yoga, and directly Bhakti Yoga. I mean, if you take stairs to climb if you are staying on the 7th or 8th floor of a building. कितने लोगों की इच्छा होती है? Nobody wants to exert so much. Lift है तो क्या problem है? All the other paths, they are like climbing the stairs. मेहनत बहुत है, time भी बहुत लगता है. The path of spiritual life, especially devotional life, bhakti marga, that is the easiest one and the quickest one. Lift से जल्दी पहुंचते हैं. So gradually Krishna is bringing Arjun. Of course, Arjun is already a devotee of the Lord. But in these chapters, he is describing how one can practice Nishkama Karma Yoga. And predominantly we are discussing which verse we were on? I think 20th? 20. Okay. So we'll continue from 20. Something was remaining. 20 is a very, very important verse. So in these verses from 20 to 29, these 9 verses, 10 verses, Krishna is telling how to practically be situated on this level of Brahman. Before that he described Tasmad Nirdosham hi samam Brahma Tasmad Brahmani te sthita. Such people are situated in Brahman. How to actually do it? Karna kaise hai? That is what he is describing in these verses. All these qualities, they naturally come when one is purified of all the material attachments. But as a practicing spiritualist, we should consciously cultivate these qualities. अपने आप एक दिन अचानक नहीं आएगा. When we start practicing it consciously, then one day it will become natural for us. It will not happen अभी कोई माला कर ही नहीं रहा है and one day you'll think आज से माला में इतना मजा आ रहा है ना. When you start chanting, then one day gradually we like to chant, and we have discussed the various stages. I am told to chant, I have to chant, I have to chant के बाद क्या होता है? नहीं, वो तो बहुत आगे हो गया. I want to chant, then I like to chant, then I love to chant. So love to chant will not come so easily. Before that, many stages are there. Adav Shraddha. In the beginning, there is little faith. That's why we all started coming and attending Bhagavad Gita classes. Thodi Shraddha thi. Then because of that Shraddha, what happened? We came in association of devotees. That is Sadhu Sangha. Adav Shraddha. In the beginning, there is faith. Then comes the Sadhu Sangha. And when one comes in association of devotees, then what devotees tell? Kya karna hai? That is called as Bhajan Kriya. Bhajan Kriya nahi. Bhajan Kriya. So Bhajan Kriya, it is a very, very important stage. ये नहीं करेंगे तो आगे नहीं बढ़ पाएंगे. Bhajan Kriya, predominantly chanting. And then as we start chanting regularly, then the next stage comes is Anartha Nivritti, our contaminations. Lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion धीरे धीरे कम होते हैं. वो धीरे धीरे मतलब कितने धीरे होते हैं? That depends on the intensity of chanting. कभी कभी उसको सदियां लग जाती हैं, कभी कभी जन्म लग जाते हैं. The stage of anartha nivritti may take lifetime or lifetimes, depending on our intensity of chanting. And then the later stages come gradually. So till the time we don't reach the highest stage of developing love, धीरे धीरे ये सब करते रहना है. And these qualities we have to cultivate. So we'll recite these 20 verses. Na prarishet priyam prapya nodvije cha prapya cha priyam sthira buddhira sammodho brahmavid brahmani sthitah. Translation please.
A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the signs of God, is already situated in transcendence.
Okay, na prahishyet priyam prapya. If he gets something which he is priya, which is dear to him, na prahishyet, he is not elated. उसको ज्यादा कुछ प्रसन्नता नहीं होती है. ठीक है, मिल गया, ओके. And na udvijet. Udvijet means he is not agitated, disturbed. कैसे नहीं मिला? इतना ट्राई किया था, पता नहीं क्यों नहीं मिला ये. Why I didn't get promotion? मैंने तो इतना मेहनत किया था. Why I didn't come first in the class? I did so much hard work. Udvijet. So this person, मिल गया तो ज्यादा प्रसन्न नहीं होंगे, नहीं मिला तो ज्यादा दुखी नहीं होंगे. He is स्थिर बुद्धि. He is fixed in his intelligence. वो सेकंड चैप्टर का कौन सा वर्ड है? स्थित प्रज्ञा. हाँ. वो स्थित प्रज्ञ है. वो स्थिर बुद्धि मीन स्थित प्रज्ञा. वो स्थित प्रज्ञ सुन के बहुत पूरा चैप्टर याद आना चाहिए आप लोगों को. उतना सब के एक वर्ड के पीछे इतना सब एक्सप्लेनेशन है. स्थिर बुद्धि, स्थित प्रज्ञ. Asammodho, he is not bewildered, and therefore he is Brahmavit. Vit means to know. Vit is a very common root. संस्कृत का एक शब्द है, उसको बोलते हैं वित. मीन्स टू नो. विद्वान, विज्ञान, ये सब वित से आता है. Brahmavit, he knows the signs of God, and therefore Brahmani Sthita, he is situated in transcendence. Actually, this is a test of our spiritual advancement. To the extent we are not disturbed by the things around us, to that extent we are advancing. कुछ मिल गया तो ज्यादा खुश नहीं होना है, और कुछ नहीं मिला तो ज्यादा दुखी नहीं होना है. ऐसा नहीं है कि फिर मुंह बना के घूमते रहेंगे हम लोग. हंसना नहीं है भाई. भगवद गीता क्लास में बोला है, equipoised. No, it is not about not smiling and laughing and having a good time. It is a state of mind. मिल गया, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. नहीं मिला, okay, no problem. This person is na prarishyet. In today's world, those who are cool-headed, people like to be with them. कुछ भी हो, ये एकदम शांत रहते हैं. कितने लोगों को ऐसे लोग पसंद रहते हैं, ज्यादा डिस्टर्ब नहीं होते, है ना. पसंद है, बाकियों को नहीं है ना. सब लोग को ऐसे ही लोग के साथ रहना कि ज्यादा डिस्टर्ब ना हो. और कुछ लोग तो ऐसे, एक ऐसा इतना सा गया तो इतना रिएक्शन. So nobody likes to be with such people. So the more we advance in spiritual life, this becomes normal for a person. Otherwise failures, failures मतलब devastation. ऐसा कैसे हो गया मेरे साथ, आज तक नहीं हुआ था मेरे साथ ऐसा, पता नहीं आज कैसे हो गया. From my first standard to 12th standard, all my classes, I was always first in class. ऐसा boast नहीं, उसके आगे वाला story important है. Then I took admission in MBBS. First year, it was a good college. First year, first exam, उसमें 3 subject होते हैं, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. I was topper in 1 subject, biochemistry. Anatomy also I scored good in my theory. Practical, I failed by 1 mark. And मतलब वो फर्स्ट ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स को आप पूछेंगे एनाटॉमी में फेल होना नॉर्मल है, नहीं हुआ तो बोले अरे पास कैसे हो गया, सब लोग फेल होते हैं, ऐसा वो दैट इज अ ट्रेंड देयर. बट जस्ट इमेजिन, आई वाज कमिंग फ्रॉम अ बैकग्राउंड वेयर हमेशा फर्स्ट आए हैं, तो वो ऐसा लड़का फेल हो गया. द वर्ड फेलियर इज रियली टॉर्चर. So that was really difficult time. But I was fortunate to have some of seniors and friends who, took care of me. Otherwise, it is really difficult. So this failure, everybody has to go through at some point of their life. ऐसा कोई है जो जीवन में कभी फेल नहीं हुआ है? जीवन है मतलब Anything, any exam or which you thought it is failure. ऐसा कैसे हो गया मेरे साथ? Failure means not just academics failure. मतलब ये मिलना चाहिए था, नहीं मिल पाया मेरे को, क्यों नहीं मिला, उसको कैसे मिल गया, मुझे ही क्यों नहीं मिला, all these feelings, that is failure. So Krishna says the first thing which we have to do, what is 2.14 Bhagavad Gita? बोलो थोड़ा जोर से.
मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगमापायिनो नित्यात् तां तितिक्षस्व भारत.
Tam stitikshasva, that is the first instruction Krishna is giving to Arjun. Arjun, please learn to tolerate. Problems, I have told earlier also, problems are like leeches. You know what's the quality of leech? किसी ने leech लगाया कभी आयुर्वेदिक? They suck impure blood. If a leech is there stuck to the skin and somebody is thinking कितना पिएगा ये, इसको निकाल देते हैं. So what is to be done? कैसे निकालेंगे उसको? नमक नहीं रहा तो अपने आप निकल जाएगा वो. Just be patient. Doesn't drink much blood. उसका पेट भर जाएगा, it will leave. So problems are like leeches. We should not overreact in life. ये भी चला जाएगा. But what if नहीं जा रहा है? हुआ है ना किसी के साथ, जा ही नहीं रहा है प्रॉब्लम. आप तो बोल रहे थे चला जाएगा, तो जा ही नहीं रहा है मेरे लाइफ से ये प्रॉब्लम. Then what to do? Then this practice of spiritual life, Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to be calm before giving our response. When we are disturbed, we can't think properly. So therefore, this philosophy, na prarishet priyam, na udvijet apriyam. This is very, very important, Otherwise, we can't think properly. One time there was a dog and he was eating a bone. And the lions came from front. It was in the forest. And the lion was about to attack this dog. So the dog started thinking, अब क्या करें अभी? So he had an idea. He was सिद्धप्रज्ञ सा लगता है. So he had an idea. He started loudly telling, this bone of this lion's bone is really wonderful. मजा आ गया खा के. So lion बोला, ये कैसा डॉग है यार? He is eating the bone of a lion. He became fearful, he ran away. So there was a monkey looking at this scene. So monkey बोला, क्या बुद्धू बना रहा है? So he goes and tells, अरे बाबा, he is making fun of you. How can he eat a lion? Just go and eat him. So he thought, अरे हाँ यार, ये तो मैंने सोचा ही नहीं. Again he goes. And then he again sees lion coming. Dog is seeing lion coming. बोले अब क्या करूं? So he says, यार ये पहला वाला बोन तो बहुत अच्छा था लायन का. वो बंदर को भेजा था दूसरा बोन लाने के लिए, दूसरे शेर को लेके आने के लिए. अभी तक आया नहीं वो. So this lion thinks ये भी उसके आदमी लगता है. So he attacks the monkey and eats the monkey first. So the person who is not in good frame of mind, he can't think properly how to solve this problem. So when problem comes in life, Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, don't get disturbed so much. When we are disturbed, we can't think properly. Failures are part of life. We heard the story of Vishwamitra, how he wanted to become Brahma Rishi. He had a fight with Vishishta Muni. And he went to do tapasya. बहुत हजारों साल की तपस्या के बाद ब्रह्मा जी came and said, you are now Raj Rishi. Raj Rishi से काम नहीं चलेगा. I want Brahma Rishi. Again he did tapasya. Then Indra thought ये ज्यादा ही तपस्या कर रहे हैं. So उनका standard SOP क्या है? 99. His standard operating procedure is इनका को भेजो, अप्सरा को भेजो, चलो. So he sent Menaka. And then, as usual, that is the biggest obstacle in the path of a spiritualist. He fell down. He married Menaka, enjoyed with her for 10,000 years. After that, he realized, kya time pass kiya 10,000 saal. He left. Again did tapasya for another 10,000 years. फिर इंद्रा थॉट अरे ऐसे नहीं चलेगा, अब एक और भेजते हैं. He sent another Apsara, Rambha. This time, he thought, अब नहीं गिरूंगा मैं. He became so angry, he burnt Rambha. So one time, first time he fell down to lust. Second time he fell down to anger. But he didn't give up. He continued to do tapasya. And then ultimately he got the position of Brahma Rishi. So failures are there in life of everyone. सबके जीवन में रुकावटें, बाधाएं, परेशानियां आती हैं. But to the extent we become peaceful in our life, when these things come, we can think how to go ahead. Because when it seems सब दरवाजे बंद हो गए, लग रहा है पता नहीं क्या करूं अब मैं, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है, so many problems, लगता है अभी कोई रास्ता नहीं बचा है. When such situations come, we should always think and know that there is always a silver lining in the darkest of the night. Whenever some problem comes in the life of a person, and especially a devotee, it is Krishna who is behind everything, orchestrating. That is a faith our devotee should have. Otherwise, it is so very difficult, to go ahead in life. So basically, this verse tells us to become emotionally sober. Becoming sober is so very important. Otherwise, क्या हो गया? उसको मैंने बोला था एक बार सोबर बनो, इसलिए हंस रही हूँ. How many of us have exploded any time on some small trivial issues? Later to be embarrassed, इतना नहीं गुस्सा करना चाहिए था, बेचारा वो आके इतना सा बोला, मैं इतना डर जापा उसको, right? So it is not that one incident, it is because so many things have happened in the past and it had created a sore feeling in the mind. But the more we practice spiritual life, the more we understand that everything in my life is orchestrated by Krishna. We learn to accept it. Or we learn to deal with that situation with a peaceful frame of mind. And we don't explode. Otherwise, some people, they explode. Some people, they become depressed. They go in another extreme. And some people, then they start taking to some addictions and गम भुलाने के लिए थोड़ा पीना पड़ता है. So all these things happen in life. But the more one becomes stable. One time in Satya Yuga, there was a very great king. His name was Daksha. So now Daksha. He was Prajapati. He was one of the directors of the universe. And he had a daughter. He had 16 daughters. He had married the youngest one. Who was the youngest daughter of Daksha? Anyone knows? Sati. Not Parvati. Sati. He had married Sati to Lord Shiva. But he didn't want to marry her to Shivji. Because Shivji, his external appearance was not so good. He would stay in crematorium sometimes. He would wear tiger skin or sometimes nothing. So he would wear the garland of skulls. But still, because Brahmaji told that you please marry your daughter to Shiva, so he did that. But he was never in good terms with Lord Shiva. One time, he arranged a huge sacrifice. He called all the devtas, all the great rishis, everybody was there. And he invited Brahma also and Shivji also. So Brahmaji is the father of Daksha. And Shivji is the son-in-law. So both of them are sitting, everybody is sitting in the assembly and Daksha enters that assembly. So everybody got up in the assembly except two people. Who? Shivji and Daksha. Brahmaji. Why? Brahmaji is father. And why Shiva didn't get up? He was in meditation. He was in samadhi. He didn't realize that Daksha has come. And of course, he was not supposed to get up because he is a Devadidev Mahadev hai wo. Daksha, he became so angry because he was thinking, ये तो मेरे दामाद हैं, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, उनको खड़ा होना चाहिए था, ऐसा कैसे नहीं खड़े हो मेरे सामने? And then he starts loudly telling everyone, just see the behavior of this Shiva. He is destroying the name and fame of the Prajapatis. सबका नाम मिट्टी में मिला रहे हैं. He is very, very impure. He uses very strong words. He says, I married my beautiful daughter to this person who is like a monkey-eyed. Markat lochan बोलते हैं उसको. Markat means monkey. Markat से याद आया, there are three types of renunciation. एक होता है शमशान वैराग्य, एक होता है मरकट वैराग्य, एंड तीसरा है, एक्चुअली चार है, एक होता है युक्त वैराग्य एंड फल्गु वैराग्य. You know what is Markat Vairagya? Yeah, that is artificial, but what is, why Markat here? You know, Markat, monkey, if you see a monkey, it seems that it is just eating fruits and roots, having nothing. बेचारा कितना विरक्त है, कुछ नहीं है बेचारे के पास. But he is always surrounded by many she monkeys, enjoying with them. So he is making a show of renunciation. He is not actual Vairagi. Anybody remembers we heard a similar thing in 3rd chapter Bhagavad Gita? Something about जो दिखावा करते हैं. याद है किसी को? Please take out 3rd chapter 5th verse. In that there is a word मिथ्याचार. 6th है कि 5th है? मिथ्याचार से उच्यते. 6th. How does it start? We'll recite this verse. कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य यास्ते मनसा स्मरन् इंद्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचार स उच्यते. Translation, somebody can please read.
One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on the sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender.
Yes. So pretender means दिखावा करने वाले. So Markat means, Markat Vairagya means दिखावा. He is not actually renounced. दिखावा. This दिखावा can come anywhere, even in the spiritual circles. दिखावा. You know, there is a great Acharya, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. यहाँ पे है Bhakti Vinod Thakur. 4th, you know, यहाँ से 4th is Bhakti Vinod Thakur, father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is guru of Srila Prabhupada. So he would speak sometimes, माथेर तिलक गलेर कंठी रही तो कलीर चेला. क्या है वो? तिलक लगाया है, कंठी माला भी पहना है, but he is making a show of all these things because वो कुछ भी नहीं follow करता है. In the previous times, the Vaishnavism, especially Gaudiya Vaishnavism, was in such a bad shape. After Mahaprabhu gave all these wonderful instructions and then he went back, the philosophy of Vaishnavism was lost. People of Bengal, they would be having bead bag in one hand, that means they were chanting, and in the other hand they would carry fish. And they would say, problem क्या है? It is जलेर फल, जल का फल है ये, क्या problem है खाने में? So that was the situation. So if we are just making a show कि भाई हम दिखावा कर रहे हैं, that is not at all going to benefit anyone. That is called as Markat Vairagya. What is Samshan Vairagya? शमशान में जैसे ही जाते हैं ना, सब मोह माया, देखो अंत में ऐसा ही होने वाला है, सब जल के भस्म होने वाले, क्या रखा है इस संसार में। एंड एज सून एज यू कम आउट, ये कौन सा मूवी निकला यार, चल दिखेंगे। दैट रिनंसिएशन डजंट लास्ट लॉन्ग। मरकट वैराग्य बोलते हैं उसको, शमशान वैराग्य बोलते हैं। There is third type of renunciation that is called as yukta vairagya. Yukta vairagya means using everything in service of God. I will use everything, but not for myself. I'll use everything in service of God. That is called as yukta vairagya. And falgu vairagya means I have nothing to do with anything of this world. मुझे इस संसार की किसी भी वस्तु से कुछ लेना देना नहीं है, because I am liberated and detached. Hey, what is the use of such renunciation if you are not going to serve God by that? One time, one devotee, he brought a picture of a famous sannyasi in India and showed to Prabhupada. And this person, he was posing in a very wonderful way. There was a pile of money kept in front of him and he was doing like this. Disgusted look. मैं तो देखता भी नहीं वैसा. Prabhupada said, you bring a pile of money in front of me, I'll also, and take a picture, I'll do like this. I'll embrace it. Why? I will not use it for myself. And I don't reject money. I will use it in Krishna's service. That is actual renunciation. I am not using anything for myself, but for God. That is yukta vairagya. And there is something called as falgu vairagya. There is a river called Falgu Nadi. बिहार के साइड में एक नदी है, उसको फल्गु नदी बोलते हैं. किसी ने सुना है? गया के पास है. यस. सो गया के पास ये जो नदी है, इफ यू सी इट इज ड्राई ऑन द सरफेस. ऊपर से नहीं दिखती है नदी, बट द रिवर इज अंडरग्राउंड. सो फल्गु वैराग्य मतलब ऊपर से दिखावा है कि एकदम विरक्त है, अंदर से तो पूरी इच्छाएं हैं. दैट इज फल्गु वैराग्य. सो ही सेज, मरकट से थोड़ा याद आ गया. He says, you are monkey-eyed. If somebody is insulting with all these harsh words, any normal person, क्या करेगा? Either he will also give all the bad words, he will shout. But what Lord Shiva did? He just didn't say anything. He just sat there. He heard everything. And then in the end, he just left without saying anything. Because he understood that all the insults and praises of the world, it is of no use. Even if somebody is insulting us, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Praising us, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? But if somebody praises us, कितना अच्छा लगता है नहीं? It is like honey is dripping. और थोड़ा बोलो ना, अच्छा लगता है. कोई तो बोलता है कभी ना कभी तो. अदरवाइज हमेशा गाली पड़ती है मेरे को. और थोड़ा बोलिए. मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि सबको अच्छा लगता है. And if somebody insults us, he is such a foolish person, he doesn't know my glories. मैं तो जाता हूं तो लोग कितना वाह वाह करते हैं मेरे बारे में, ये इनको नहीं मालूम है. बट न प्ररिषेत प्रियम प्राप्य न उद्विजेत. We should at least start practicing this in life. Next time कोई आपको बुरा भला बोले, so rather than retaliating, try to control. बहुत मुश्किल है. But the more we advance in spiritual life, the more we understand the superficiality. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? बोलो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? But in one situation one should speak. If somebody is insulting, then can we say anything in any situation? If somebody is insulting not us, but if somebody is insulting Krishna, or if somebody is insulting other devotee of Krishna, then we should not say, ऐसा है क्या? मुझे तो मालूम ही नहीं था ये devotee ऐसा है. अच्छा हो बता दिया. We should never ever try to hear faults of devotees, even if they are right. Even if the devotee has some faults, if we have nothing to do with that, don't try to listen. And for that matter, we should not hear faults about anyone if we have nothing to do with that person. Otherwise, it is so very attractive, no? ऐसा we get really enlivened. किसी के बारे में बुरा कोई सुनाना शुरू करता है तो अच्छा और क्या हुआ, अच्छा ये भी किया उसने, ओह अच्छा हो बता दिया है. एंड देन द डिस्कशन स्टार्ट्स. फिर उसमें एक और ऐड करेंगे, फिर एक बार से एक और एडिशन होता है, ये ऐसे भी है वैसे भी है, फिर चल रहा है एंड आफ्टर 1 hour अरे जाने दो ना, अपने क्या करने गए, करना ही नहीं है तो 1 घंटा क्यों भाई. So this tendency to speak faults of somebody, it is really difficult. Some of us have started chanting 16 rounds also and following the 4 regulatory principles also. A next project for every one of us, including me, is not to speak about the faults of somebody. ये try करिए. Even if you know कि ये तो पक्का गड़बड़ आदमी है. The urge to speak is so difficult to control. नहीं होता है, मुझे मालूम है गड़बड़ कर रहा है. Try it. वो सहन करना सीखना पड़ेगा. That is next level, So you have to learn to tolerate. This is very, very important. And we have to become introspective when things become difficult in life. And it seems अब तो नहीं हो रहा है सहन. When Hanumanji, he went in search of Mother Sita, he entered Lanka and he was searching all the chambers of Ravana's palace. कहाँ पे देखेंगे? He was searching the chambers of all the ladies. बस अभी सीता जी को ढूंढना है तो और कहाँ देखेंगे? And then after seeing in 2-3 chambers, he was seeing Ravan sleeping with all the ladies. And Hanumanji started thinking, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? I am a brahmachari. And what I am doing? I am looking at the faces very carefully. फोटो नहीं था ना उस समय अभी कि सीता जी का फोटो ये है, देख लो भाई, ढूंढ के लाओ. He had just heard the description of Mother Sita. So he had to match the description. तो ध्यान से देखना है. And then after some time he thinks, what am I doing? ये क्या कर रहा हूं मैं? Am I breaking some principles? Then he realized, no, my purpose is right. I am not doing anything intentionally. My intention is to find Mother Sita. And then whole night he is searching, he is not able to find Sita. Then what he thinks? If I go back and tell Lord Ram, Sita nahi mili, what will happen? Lord Ram will commit suicide. And if Ram commits suicide, Lakshman will die. And if Lakshman dies, the news reaches Ayodhya. And before that, Sugriva will die. Then entire Kishkinda will suffer. Then Ayodhya Vasis will suffer. They will die. तो इन सब को मरने से अच्छा है क्या करेंगे? मैं ही आत्महत्या कर लेता हूं. That was Hanumanji thinking. He was thinking of committing suicide. So when things go wrong in life, anybody can go through such situations. But then Hanumanji, how he came out of it? He understood that Lord Ram is all powerful. For sure he will help me in finding Mother Sita. That is a devotee. A devotee is always an optimist. It is said if you are not an optimist, you are an atheist. For sure a devotee thinks, नहीं कुछ तो अच्छा होगा इसमें. When things go wrong, a devotee never gets disturbed by anything in life. अपने आनंद गोपाल प्रभु आए थे, he made a very wonderful statement. क्या बोलना है? Blessing in disguise. It must be a blessing in disguise. When things are wrong, it must be a blessing in disguise. So that is not just a way of thinking. That is actually Lord's plan for everyone. We may not realize, we may not understand, because we see life from this life perspective. ये जीवन ही सब कुछ है ना, इसके आगे खत्म नहीं, इसके आगे खत्म नहीं है. We have to understand that everything doesn't end with this life. And the more we are peaceful, the more we can think properly. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, the symptoms of a self-realized person are given herein. So ये जो बोल रहे हैं हम लोग इतना आसान नहीं है. It is really a difficult thing. But at least try. Start तो करिए, शुरू तो करिए. अपने आप नहीं होगा. You have to learn to do this. Practice. So these symptoms we have to practice in our life. Not getting disturbed. Which is more difficult to tolerate, happiness or pain? How many of you feel happiness is more difficult? पूरा तीनों फैमिली उठा रहे हैं. सही है भाई. How many of you feel pain is difficult to tolerate than happiness? Okay, ठीक है. जिन्होंने pain happiness बोला है, क्यों भाई? Why happiness is difficult to tolerate? Difficult to chant while we are happy.
It cannot be sustained for long.
So what is the difficulty in tolerating happiness? Ego आ जाता है. When Srila Prabhupada, he was in India, he went through lots of difficulties in spreading Krishna consciousness. And then in the West, he again struggled for 2-3 years, and then he had a very massive success. And then Srila Prabhupada made a statement, Krishna tested me twice. Srila Prabhupada was a businessman. He had a big factory. One day he heard a news, the entire factory is burning. Entire business was lost. And then later he had everything. He had disciples, he had temples all over the world. Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna tested me twice. Once by taking everything from me, and second by giving everything to me. Which is more difficult spiritually to tolerate? When everything is taken away, or when everything is given to us? Why?
Because we want to enjoy that.
So what will happen if everything is given to us? What is the problem? There are chances that we'll forget God easily. That is what happened with Sugriva. When Lord Ram killed Vali and Chaturmas came, so Lord Ram said, now you please go and enjoy with your wife and you enjoy the kingdom, and after 4 months are over, you come and start search for Sita. And Lord Ram is in separation. 4 mahine beet gaye. And Sugriva is not coming back. He is absorbed enjoying. He had his wife. Who was the wife of Sugriva? Anyone knows? Sugriva. Sugriva ki wife thi Ruma. And Vali ki wife hai Tara. So now after the death of Vali, Sugriva married Tara also. So he is enjoying with Ruma also, Tara also. He has whole kingdom, and he forgot that Ram is suffering. And Lord Ram, he is becoming angry. He tells Lakshman, you go and tell Sugriva, the path on which I have sent Vali, that is not closed yet. If he doesn't come, next is his number. So Lakshman, anyways, he wanted to do something. So he goes and he starts shouting. And Angad, who has seen his father angry, Vali, Angad was the son of Vali. He had seen Ravan, because Ravan also fought with Vali and Vali defeated Ravan. He had seen all these angers. So Angad, when he sees the anger of Lakshman, he goes and tells, I have never seen somebody angry as Lakshman. Better you go and surrender. Otherwise you will be roasted. You go. So it is so very difficult to remember Krishna when we are happy. You know, the Devatas in heaven, they are also making a prayer. It comes in Bhagavatam. Kim dushkarairna kratubhi tapovratai dana dibhirva dvijayena falguna na yatra narayana pada pankaja smriti pramushta tishaindriya utsavat. So these devatas, you know what are they praying? They are praying, oh my Lord, we have done so much of yajna, dushkar yajna, tap, dan. We did everything on earth and now we have come to heaven. इतना सब करके अभी स्वर्ग मिल गया है. यहाँ पे सब कुछ अच्छा है. There is one problem in heaven. Can anyone guess what is the problem in heaven? क्या प्रॉब्लम होगा स्वर्ग में? तो दुख नहीं है तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है? नहीं वैसे भी नहीं है वहां पे, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम क्या है? न यत्र नारायण पाद पंकज स्मृति. यहाँ पे भगवान नारायण के चरण कमलों का स्मरण करना मुश्किल है. क्यों? अतिशय इंद्रिय उत्सव. देयर इज फेस्टिवल ऑफ सेंसेस गोइंग ऑन हियर. इतना मजा है यहाँ पे, भगवान की याद ही नहीं आती. और याद भी आती है तो ऐसा नाम के लिए याद कर लेते हैं भगवान को कभी कभी, जस्ट फॉर द नेम सेक. So therefore it is so very difficult to remember Krishna in good times and the bad times. But in bad times it is still easier because it is natural कि भाई अभी तो निकालो भगवान यहाँ से. We have to learn to tolerate. So that is the underlying principle of spiritual life. Learn to tolerate happiness and reversals both. There was a great king, Ambarish Maharaj. He was such a great devotee of the Lord. He was doing everything to serve the Lord. सब कुछ भगवान की सेवा में लगा दिया उन्होंने. And Lord was so pleased, he had given his Sudarshan Chakra to Ambarish for his protection. आपका पर्सनल प्रोटेक्शन, ये गार्ड ये हमारा सुदर्शन है. One day, Durvas Muni came to meet Ambarish Maharaj. And Ambarish, he was fasting for many months now for the welfare of the society and the kingdom. And when this Durvasa Muni came, it was a time for Paran. No, Dwadashi में Paran time होता है ना. So Durvasa Muni came at that time exactly. And Ambarish Maharaj welcomed him and said, please take seat. And he washed his feet and he did aarti, sab kuch kiya. And he said, we will prepare some prasad for you. So Durvasa Muni said, but I have to take bath. I'm going to take bath in Yamuna and then I'll come. So he said, okay. And Durvasa Muni, he is not coming back early. The Paran time is going. And Ambarish is thinking, Paran में time में Paran नहीं किया, I'll not get the credit of fasting. क्या करें अभी? So he consulted the Brahman, all the Brahmanas and the sages. क्या करें? He said, you take water, little water, that is as good as breaking fast and not breaking fast also. He was doing निर्जल fasting. निर्जल मतलब बिना पानी के सब कुछ ऐसा नहीं है. He was not drinking water. He was not eating anything. And then Durvasa Muni came and he understood that Ambarish has taken water. So what he did? He plucked one of his hairs. अपना तो स्कोप नहीं है. अगर किसी का एक बाल टूट के गिरा तो क्या होगा? गंदा हो गया, हटाओ उसको, साफ करो. And Durvasa, he plucked one of his hairs and he threw it on the ground. It created a big demon. And this demon, he was going to kill Ambarish. And still Ambarish is not moving from his place. Just standing there with folded hands. And Sudarshan, he comes, he appears, he kills the demon, he starts chasing Durvasa Muni to kill him. Durvasa is running and he reaches Brahmalok. He says, Brahma ji bachao, ye Sudarshan mere piche aa raha hai. So Brahma ji says, out of scope, sorry. We can't do anything. Go ahead. He goes to Kailash. He tells Lord Shiva, please help. This Sudarshan is burning me, about to kill me. Lord Shiva says, I can't do anything. This is weapon of Lord Vishnu. You go to him only. So he went to Vaikuntha. There is a Vaikuntha in this Brahmand also. एक वैकुंठ तो बाहर है, एक वैकुंठ इस ब्रह्मांड में भी है. उसको बोलते हैं क्षीर सागर. श्वेत द्वीप नाम की एक जगह है, वहां पे कृष्ण रहते हैं, विष्णु stays. So this Durvasa Muni reaches there and he's telling, oh Lord Vishnu, please stop your weapon. Lord Vishnu says, I can't do anything. अरे आपका weapon है, रोको उसको. He says, you have offended my devotee. अहम भक्त पराधीनो नाही अस्वतंत्र इव द्विजः साधुभिर्ग्रस्त हृदयं भक्तैर भक्त जनप्रिय. He says, I am not independent. Who is saying? The Supreme Lord, who is all powerful. He is saying, I am not independent. तो फिर आपके ऊपर कौन है? अहम भक्त पराधीन. I am dependent on my devotees. You have offended my devotee. I can't do anything. You go and ask forgiveness from Ambarish. If he forgives you, then there is some hope for you. So he comes running back to Ambarish Maharaj. And in all this travels, from Brahmalok to Shivaji to Vishnu, back to Ambarish, it took 1 year. And for this 1 year, Ambarish is standing at one place waiting for his guest to come back. So who can do that? Because Ambarish is such a great devotee of the Lord. He tolerated all the insult and still desired good for Durvasa Muni. When Durvasa Muni came and he fell at the feet of Ambarish, he said, please forgive me. गलती हो गया, पता नहीं था आपका इतना पावर है बाबा. I didn't know your glories. अहो अनंत दासानां महत्तम दृष्ट मध्य में कृतागसोपि यदराजन मंगलानि समीहसे. When Durvasa Muni fell at the feet of Ambarish, Ambarish says, please forgive me. मेरी वजह से आपको इतना प्रॉब्लम हुआ. Who can do that? So the more one advances in spiritual life, the more one develops tolerance. And then Durvasa Muni says, Arey, I didn't know your glories. I tried to kill you and you are thinking of my good being, well-being. So that is a devotee. So the more we advance in spiritual life, the more this power of tolerance comes. Of course, tolerance does not mean you allow others to exploit you. We have heard the story of Narad Muni preaching a snake one time. Who will tell the story? मैं तो बताऊंगा ही. So we all know this, that snake was in blood because Narad Muni told Baba, mat kaato kisi ko, why are you biting everyone? So he said, okay, Narad Muni, I will not bite anyone. After a week, Narad Muni came back and he saw that this snake is in blood. He has wounds all over his body. And he said, what happened? So the snake says, you only told don't bite. So people came to know. And they are throwing stones at me. Narad Muni said, I told you not to bite. I didn't tell you not to hiss. Hissing is sufficient to drive people away. So we don't allow others to exploit us, because if we are exploited, we will not be able to serve Krishna properly. That is the understanding. So that is very, very important. We learn to tolerate so that we can serve Krishna properly. And if we have to retaliate, we retaliate when if it is needed to serve Krishna properly. That is what Krishna is telling to Arjun, fight. Why? If you will not fight, you will not be able to serve me properly. So that is the principle of tolerance. So Srila Prabhupada writes, he knows perfectly well that he is not this body, but is the fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord. He is therefore not joyful in achieving something, nor does he lament in losing anything which is related to his body. This steadiness is called as sthira buddhi. That is called as sthita pragya. Okay, so we'll go to the next verse now. Any questions so far? Or any thoughts? Yes. You have a mic here? Yeah. Yeah. Please take the mic.
Who would you say is a bigger devotee? One who remembers God in pain or one who remembers God in happiness?
It is not about who is remembering. It is not that a person remembers God in happiness, he is lesser devotee, and it depends on the consciousness of the person. Why he is remembering or she is remembering God. It is not about remembering pain or happiness. Both things should impel one to remember Krishna. There is no parameter कि जो दुख में याद कर रहा है, जो सुख में भी याद कर रहा है वो बड़ा डिवोटी है, और जो दुख में याद कर रहा है वो तो नॉर्मल डिवोटी है. No, it is not like that. Everything should help us remember Krishna. And Krishna is not a person who judges everything minutely. अभी याद नहीं किया तो ये छोटा डिवोटी हो गया, अभी याद किया ना ये अच्छा डिवोटी मेरा. Krishna never sees faults. Krishna sees याद तो किया ना. That is good thing about Krishna consciousness. अगर अदरवाइज हमारा होप नहीं है, फिर होपलेस हो जाएगा सिचुएशन. If Krishna starts counting कितनी बार याद किया मेरे को, because with all our practice of spiritual life, even if we chant 64 rounds every day, whole life, we can't claim Krishna 64 माला रोज किया मालूम है, अब मेरे को भगवत नाम लेना ही पड़ेगा, एंट्री पक्का देना मेरे को. अरे बाबा 64 माला कैसा किया तूने मालूम है क्या? वीडियो दिखाऊं? तो ऐसा 64 तो गिन गिन के तरह ऐसा 60 61, तो ऐसा क्या फायदा 64 माला करके? It is not about numbers. It is about the quality of our practice. That attracts Krishna's attention. Whether somebody is chanting and remembering him in happiness or pain, that doesn't matter. Everything, anything should help us to remember Krishna. That is the ultimate reality. Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavyo na jatu chit. Sarve vidhi nishedhasyur etayoreva kinkara. Smartavya satatam. Always remember Krishna. Vismartavyo na jatu chit. Never forget him. Sarve vidhi nishedh. All the rules and regulations of scriptures, they are meant for this purpose. Etayor eva kinkar. They are the servants of these two principles. भगवान को हमेशा याद करिए, कभी भूलिए नहीं. So that is the underlying principle. Okay. Any other questions? और किसी को कुछ प्रश्न है? Okay, so we'll go to the next verse and then we'll stop. It is 8:35. बाह्यस्पर्शेव सक्तात्मा विन्दति आत्मनि यत्सुखम् स ब्रह्मयोग युक्तात्मा सुखमक्षयमश्नुते. Translation. पढ़िए, जिसके पास माइक है can read.
Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme.
Okay, so now Krishna starts describing, so this platform which is described in the previous verse, na praharishet priyam, na udvijet apriyam, how to achieve this platform. Now he is going in little more detail in this verse. He's saying, bahya sparsha. Sparsha means when our senses come in touch with sense objects. That means when we enjoy things of the world. Sparsha. Asakta atma. Asakta means he's not attached. So he's detached from the external pleasures, and vindati. Vindati means he enjoys. Where he enjoys? Atmani. He enjoys within. He starts seeking happiness within. That means he starts enjoying the happiness of connecting with God, the enjoyment of practicing spiritual life. Enjoyment one gets when one chants or one reads or when he hears some discussions about Krishna or Bhagavad Gita or any pastimes of Krishna. Vindati atmani yat sukham. This person, sa brahma yoga yuktatma. This person, he learns to concentrate on Supreme. Brahma Yoga. So Brahma Yoga means he learns to concentrate on Supreme Lord. And what experience he gets? Sukham Akshayam Ashnute. Akshay means, what's the meaning of Akshay? Iska nash nahi hota. So what type of happiness he gets? Akshaya happiness, that happiness which never gets destroyed. This is the happiness of a spiritualist. He is always happy. In any circumstance, in any situation, he is always happy. So that is the result of a person who is practicing spiritual life and he reaches this Brahman platform. That means he is self-realized. तो जब तक हम वहां पे नहीं पहुंचे, at least try. Keep trying to be equipoised when we get something good or when we get something bad. When we get some promotion, when we get some profit, when we get some good marks, when we get what we want. Okay, it is Krishna's desire, I got it. Nothing belongs to me. It is Krishna's mercy. And when things are wrong, no problem. It is Krishna's mercy. So that is the understanding. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue from this next time. Any questions anybody has? Yes.
Because there is one Brahmaji, one Vishnu, one Narayan, and one.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Okay. In every universe, there is one avatar of Brahma, or not avatar. There is one Brahma, there is one avatar of Vishnu, there is one avatar of Lord Shiva. They are needed to administrate this universe. Every universe requires an administration. So Brahma, he creates, Lord Shiva destroys, Vishnu maintains. So they have to be there, along with all the Devtas. This universe is created. One time a person asked, one time Srila Prabhupada was telling, Krishna has made this world to enjoy. So लोगों ने सोचा पहली बार हमारे काम का बोल रहे. And Prabhupada said, not yours, for his enjoyment. He has made this world so that he can enjoy. You know when Krishna enjoys? When people turn towards him. Just like a son who has gone away from father, when father will be happy? When son comes back. That is the greatest happiness of a father or a parent. So this universe, this creation is made so that we all have rebelled against God कि नहीं चाहिए आपके साथ बिल्कुल नहीं रहना है हमको. We want to enjoy separately. So then Krishna says, अरे बाबा नहीं जा सकते, कहाँ जाओगे? You can't enjoy. You don't have the capacity. Just like a son who doesn't know how to live in the world. He says, मुझे अपना property दे दो, मैं जा रहा हूँ. A father will say, अरे बाबा, you will suffer. You don't know how to live in this world. नहीं, आपके साथ रहना ही नहीं है मेरे को. And this father, he say, okay, ठीक है, चलो. You take this company, try to enjoy. You take this kingdom, try to enjoy. And when we come in this world, try to enjoy. We start enjoying, and then we realize, पिटाई बहुत हो रहा है. जैसा चाहिए था वैसा नहीं मिल रहा है. And then after many lifetimes, one comes to this understanding, अकेले नहीं रह सकते. Have to go back. So this entire world is made so that we can understand. You know, this world, there is a very nice verse in Ishopanishad, the beginning verse, invocation. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. This is a very famous verse. The Supreme Lord is complete. Whatever comes from Him is complete. Although the complete comes from complete, He remains complete. ये क्या बोल रहे हैं आप? कुछ तो ठीक से बताओ. That's why it is Upanishad. Upanishad मतलब कुछ भी ठीक से जल्दी समझेगा नहीं. It requires an explanation. So the Lord is complete, He is supreme, and whatever comes from Him, all the manifestations from Him, they are perfectly made. It is complete. लेकिन क्या complete है ये संसार में? इतना प्रॉब्लम है. दुनिया बनाने वाले काहे को दुनिया बनाई, और बनाना भी था तो अच्छी बना देते. इतना प्रॉब्लम क्यों डाल दिया? You know how this world is complete? This world is perfectly made to frustrate our desires. उसके लिए अच्छे से बनाया है कि जो भी करो फ्रस्ट्रेशन आएगा ही. So that ultimately we understand this place is not supposed, we are not supposed to be in this place. चलो भाई निकलेंगे यहाँ से. इसलिए ब्रह्मांड बनाया. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Praji. Some expert comments.
Why are there all these processes of yoga, and if there is all these Kriya Yogas and Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and
We discussed in the beginning the same thing today, the yoga ladder.
but why that is there? Like if our whole desire is to come to the level of unalloyed devotion to the Lord, so the various processes of 7 chakras, and that something.
7 chakra is just part of Ashtanga yoga. That Kundalini and all that, Shat chakra yoga.
Yeah.
They are part of Ashtanga yoga. Very difficult to practice in Kali Yuga, but the side effects are so alluring that people get attracted by them. Main effect तो मिलता ही नहीं उससे. Main effect, the important result of practicing that Shat chakra yoga is to get liberated from this body. And the first requirement of practicing Ashtanga yoga is to give up your family life, go to forest, become a sannyasi. आगे चल के तभी प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं. That is the prerequisite to practice Ashtanga yoga. Become a renunciant. शहर में रह के नहीं हो सकता है वो सब. So whatever Kundalini and Shat Chakra yoga के नाम पे आजकल चल रहा है, people are just enjoying the side effects of all these yoga practices. One becomes peaceful. One feels good. That is not the main effect of Ashtanga yoga. The main effect is you develop connection with God. But the side effect is so alluring कि वही शांति मिलती. मतलब संसार में इतने पिटे हुए हैं लोग, क्या बोलेंगे बताओ. इतनी पिटाई हो रही है, सब जगह से प्रॉब्लम ही प्रॉब्लम है. तो कुछ करने से शांति मिलती है तो करने दो ना यार, क्या प्रॉब्लम है. You know, that is the thing. So that's why it is so very attractive. And this process of bhakti yoga, it may not give some immediate effect so easily. That's why it looks, इसमें क्या मिल रहा है, कुछ तो मिल ही नहीं रहा है, ये माला करते रहो हरे कृष्णा कुछ तो होता नहीं है, बोला था चैंट हरे कृष्णा एंड बी हैप्पी, खाएगा बी हैप्पी, अभी तो और सजा लग रही है, कहे कुछ मजा तो आ नहीं रहा है, सजा मिल रही है, बोला माला का पकड़ा दिया हाथ में. But it is not so easy. That's why it is not so easy to practice spiritual life. Of course, we can experience the effects of bhakti yoga also from the beginning. All of us are experiencing. Our lives have changed a lot. We have become more and more focused, more and more peaceful, more and more aware of the realities of the world. And most important, we have understood what is actual spiritual life. Otherwise, people are really confused about what is spiritual life. So that is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, that we have received such crystal clear understanding of what is spirituality.
Can devotees use that to make themselves better? Like, they say that if you do the Anahita Chakra for the heart, the fear
Personally,
and
मुझे तो ये सब का मालूम नहीं है कुछ.
the gratefulness will increase. If this is done, that will increase. They all,
आपने बहुत पढ़ाई किया लगता है.
you know, Moondara Chakra, this will increase. So they go on propagating like that. That if you do this, you know, these good things will happen to you.
Yeah, so that's what I said. They are focusing on the material side of material benefits of all these yoga practices. Whatever is propagated in the name of spirituality is just to increase our material benefits.
But if
That's
you're
all.
becoming grateful, if you're becoming fearless,
Still, it boils down to something material only. Grateful for what? Grateful for something material we have received from God. So it is not developing our relation with God. It is like making a business with God. No, just by being grateful, it is good sentiment, it is good quality, but just being grateful will not connect us to God unless we consciously are grateful towards God. So that is, we have to do it consciously, tab jaake hoga. Otherwise, just doing something thinking कुछ तो अच्छा लग रहा है, नहीं होता है वैसे. And especially, as I said, it is not a easy practice. The end result of Ashtanga Yoga is Samadhi. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. These are the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. So Samadhi पहुंचने के लिए हजारों साल लगते हैं लोगों को. In the previous times, अभी हजारों क्या, अभी decades भी नहीं रहते हैं हमारे पास जीने के लिए. So we are just happy getting the side benefits of Yam, Niyam, Pranayam, Asan. बस उसमें हमारे रामदेव बाबा जी फेमस हो. मतलब और क्या बताते हैं, बताइए. All that pranayam and all that asanas are just to keep the body fit, right? But the ultimate purpose of keeping the body fit is to go ahead with dharana, dhyan, samadhi. वहां पर कौन पहुंचेगा? वहां तक तो पहुंच ही नहीं रहे ना.
but Prabhuji, aren't they important also? Like, for example, Panchakosh mein Anna.
They are important, but they are not the only thing which is important.
Yeah, but many devotees, their Annamaya Kosh is also not developed properly.
Practice of bhakti can give everything. Yat karmabhir yat tapasa jnana vairagyayachayat yogena dana dharmena shreyobhiritrairapi sarvam mad bhakti yogena mad bhakto labhate anjasa swarga apavarga madhama kathanchid yadivanchati. This is from Bhagavatam. In these 2 verses, Krishna is telling to Uddhav, don't get distracted by anything in this world. Whatever result you want to attain by karma kand, by tapasya, by jnana, by vairagya, by yoga, by dana, by itarairapi, by anything else, जो भी वेदों में है ना, sarvam, the effect of all these you will get by mad bhakti yogena, by my bhakti yoga. Mad bhakto labhate anjasa. Anjasa means easily. They don't have to do these things separately. अलग से करने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है. If you want, you will get the results of all these. Krishna says, what do you want? You want liberation? मुक्ति चाहिए? मुक्ति मिलेगी. You want स्वर्ग? You will get स्वर्ग. You want मद धाम? You want to come to my abode? You will come to my abode also. क्या चाहिए? बोलो अर्जुन, बोलो उद्धव. So that is a standing declaration of Krishna. But don't go anywhere else. The process of bhakti is all powerful. It is complete. All the other paths, they depend on bhakti. But bhakti does not depend on any other path. I'll explain sometime later how it is. Okay.
Abhi.
Yes.
अष्टांग योगा परफॉर्म कर
बोल रहे हैं कि अपन मेंटली स्टेबल नहीं है. मतलब स्टेबल बनना पड़ेगा.
नहीं वो बोल रहे हैं even if somebody is not mentally stable, they can practice bhakti yoga. नहीं आप उल्टा समझ रहे हैं. Even if somebody is not very focused in his mind, still they can practice bhakti yoga. But to practice ashtanga yoga, prerequisite is mind should be focused. By practice of bhakti, mind becomes focused automatically.
प्रभु जी अगर कोई सच्ची भक्ति में है फिर वो चाहे किसी भी नाम को ले.
नहीं नहीं
जैसे प्रभु जी जैसे तुलसीदास जैसे उन्हें तो महान कवि कहते, उन्होंने यही कहा हरि अनंत हरि रूप अनंत.
हाँ, हरि रूप only, not any other रूप. Okay. There is difference between the Lord's names and the names of other devatas. Hari Ananta agreed, accepted. Hari Katha Ananta, Hari Naam Ananta. तो भगवान के नामों को लीजिए. If somebody says सब एक है ना, तो कल से ओम नमः शिवाय जपना शुरू कर देते हैं, या फिर कल से हम लोग सूर्य की पूजा शुरू करेंगे. Because Surya is also good for health. नहीं चलेगा. Krishna, he is a jealous god. Just on lighter side. He wants exclusive attention for our benefit. Otherwise, if we want to get water, if somebody says 300 फीट खोदेंगे तो यहाँ पे पानी मिलेगा, ठीक है, 10 फीट इधर खोदते हैं, 10 फीट इधर, 10 फीट उधर, ऐसा खोदते रहते हैं 10-10 फीट, मिलेगा पानी? If you want to get love of God, we have to focus at one God. Focus on God only, not on anyone else.
नाम कुछ भी हो सकता है.
भगवान के कुछ भी नाम लीजिए.
विष्णु सहस्त्रम.
हाँ, विष्णु के सहस्त्र नाम है, उनमें से भी हरे कृष्णा मंत्र इज द बेस्ट फॉर कलियुगा, कस्टम मेड फॉर कलियुगा. हरेर नाम हरेर नाम हरेर नाम एव केवलम कलौ न अस्त्येव न अस्त्येव न अस्त्येव गतिर अन्यथा. हमारे जैसे, हिंदी में एक अच्छा शब्द है ढीठ लोगों के लिए, मतलब those who are really stubborn in their understanding, कि मतलब समझता ही नहीं है, मैं सीधा सीधा बोल रहा हूं ना हरे राम, कुछ तो रहेगा ना, कुछ तो. हरेर नाम जो ऑप्शन है, हरेर नाम बोले कुछ तो बताओ. एव मीन्स ओनली. नहीं यार ऐसा, केवलम. नहीं, मैं ट्राई करता हूं. अरे कलौ नास्ति एव बाबा, देयर इज नो अदर वे इन कलियुगा, नो अदर वे, नो अदर वे गतिरन्यथा. कितने बार बोल रहे हैं एक ही चीज को? 8 बार बोल रहे हैं इसमें. ये है पद्म पुराण में.
भगवान ने सुनाई है।
भगवान का नहीं है, मतलब भगवान के बारे में बताया गया ना,
राम का नाम लेके भी
होगा ना।
ओनली राम।
वो एक श्लोक आता है, शिवजी बताते हैं पार्वती को, कौन सा है वो श्लोक? राम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम विस्तुल्यम राम नाम वरानने. If you take thousand names of Vishnu, that is equal to one name of Ram. And if you take Ram Nam 3 times, that is equal to one name of Krishna. Yeah. 3 बार राम नाम, 1 बार कृष्ण नाम. ये कैलकुलेशन दिया है पद्म पुराण में. हायरार्की है. मतलब बोले हैं 1000 विष्णु के नाम, राम एक नाम. 3000 विष्णु के नाम, कृष्ण का एक नाम, बराबर है. So that's why in Kali Yuga, this is given very simply, और कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. But Kali Yuga people still they think नहीं, अभी नहीं बाद में करेंगे. इतनी भी क्या जल्दी है, अभी तो बहुत समय पड़ा है. आज करे सो कल कर, कल करे सो परसों. इतनी भी क्या जल्दी है, जब जीना है बरसों, आराम से करेंगे. नहीं, टाइम नहीं है अपने पास. वी हैव लेस टाइम. ओके. अरे वाह, क्या क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं. ये हुई ना बात, जागृत हो गए सब लोग. एक मिनट पहले इनका क्वेश्चन लेते हैं, फिर इधर आएंगे. यू कैन जस्ट पास ऑन द माइक.
1000 राम का,
You can just hold the mic.
1000 विष्णु नाम लेने से राम का एक नाम रिकवर है. और
3 बार राम, 3000 कृष्ण का.
3000 विष्णु नाम is 1 बार कृष्ण नाम.
3000 विष्णु नाम है एक बार
कृष्ण नाम.
और 1000 लेने से राम.
हाँ.
तो राम इज सुपीरियर टू कृष्ण.
अरे नहीं, समझे नहीं. मैथ्स अच्छा नहीं लगता आपका.
1000 बार में अगर विष्णु का नाम,
विष्णु जी का नाम लेंगे तो 1 बार राम के नाम लेने के समान है. और यदि 3000 बार विष्णु का नाम लेंगे, दैट इज इक्वल टू 1 नेम ऑफ कृष्ण. सो दैट मीन्स 3 names of Ram is equal to 1 name of Krishna.
That exchange currencies.
So ultimately, this material calculation we should not be so much interested in. अभी वो टॉपिक है, इसलिए मैंने बता दिया है. शास्त्रों में दिया है ऐसा. For us, कृष्ण हो, राम हो, अपना तो हालत खराब है. अपने को तो अपना प्रॉब्लम क्या है, नाम चैंटिंग खत्म हो गया ना प्रभु जी, कितना राहत मिला मालूम है. और वो 16वां हमारा नीचे जाता है ना, that gives the highest ecstasy in my life. For that day, हो गया. अभी फीडबैक को ऐसी जगह रखो कि दिखना नहीं चाहिए. टेंशन आता है भाई, दिखता है तो याद आती है कि अरे बाप रे, कल भी करना है. So for us it is like not so important. But why it is described? So that we understand the glories of the Hare Krishna mantra. And that Hare Krishna mantra, Ram is also there. But for us, Krishna, Ram, ईश्वरत्व भेद मानिले होए अपराध. If somebody thinks राम तो छोटे भगवान है, कृष्ण बड़े भगवान है, that is an offense. Okay. If somebody thinks राम की पूजा करते हो, हम तो कृष्ण की पूजा करते हैं मालूम है, that is an offense. If we don't understand that they are all Krishna only in terms of power, there is no difference. They are all same. Vishnu avatars, not devatas. जितने भी विष्णु अवतार हैं, शक्ति में सब सेम हैं. There is no difference between Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Vamana, Narsimha, Krishna, Balaram in terms of power. Difference is in the mood in which they are in. Their mood is different. नरसिंह देव के कोई माता पिता नहीं है. नरसिंह देव बोलेंगे मेरे ही कोई वाइफ नहीं दिख रही है. When Narasimhadev appeared and he killed Hiranyakashipu and everybody was saying, अरे बाबा शांत करो इनको, नहीं तो पूरा ब्रह्मांड नष्ट करेंगे. तो शांत कौन कर सकता है? पत्नी. तो सब लोग बोले आपके पति हैं, जाइए शांत करिए. तो लक्ष्मी बोले, I have not seen my husband in this form any time. मैं नहीं जा सकती. So Narasimhadev has a different mood, different rasa. There are no friends of Narasimhadev. चलना थोड़ा घूम के आते हैं. No. Krishna has that friendship. सखा मोरे शुद्ध भावे स्कंद्यारोहण तुम्हें कौन बड़ लोक तुम्ही आमासम. Friends of Krishna they tell तुम कौन सा बड़ा आदमी यार, कल तो हराया था तेरे को मैंने पूछते. तुम क्या बोल रहे, मैं भगवान हूं. And Krishna is happy with that. प्रिया मोरे मान कोरी कोरे भर्तसन सर्व वेद स्तुति होय हरे मोर मन. When the gopis chastise Krishna, that chastisement is more sweet than the Ved Stuti for Krishna. Krishna को उसमें मजा आता है, गोपियां डांटती हैं तो. So that is difference in the mood. शक्ति में सब एक ही हैं, ज्यादा कुछ अंतर नहीं है. Okay. So और ठीक है. So what is the question? वही था ना. Yeah. So any other questions?
लेकिन प्रभु जी जब फिर
कहाँ से? हाँ यहाँ से आवाज आ रही है.
फिर रामचंद्र जी की क्यों शंकर जी की पूजा करते हैं? वो विष्णु के अवतार है ना, तो विष्णु ही सबसे बड़ा है ना. तो फिर उन्होंने रामेश्वरम पे वो बनवाया, तो इसका मतलब वो शिव जी को बड़ा मानते.
Lord always feels my devotee is greater. अभी वो स्टोरी बताई ना आपको, अहम भक्त पराधीनो. विष्णु क्या बोल रहे हैं, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, वो डिवोटी के पास जाके बोलो. तो अम्बरीश थोड़ी नहीं समझे, देखा मैं विष्णु से बड़ा हो गया. नो, that is the rasa which Lord reciprocates with his devotees. He always feels my devotee is so great. I want to serve my devotee. I want to worship my devotee. That's why Lord is worshipping Lord Shiva. एक टेम्पल है साउथ इंडिया में, नाम भूल गया, वहां पे एक शिव जी का मंदिर है, और वहां पे एक बहुत बड़े डिवोटी थे, उनका नाम था कन्नी कन्नन. Every day he would read Ramayana. And he would read a section and then he would put a bookmark and then he would leave. He would read that in front of Lord Shiva. शिव जी के मंदिर में बैठ के पढ़ते थे. अगले दिन आके देखते थे तो अरे वो पहले वाले पेज पे ही वापस बुकमार्क आ गया. He thought like गलती से लगता लगा दिया. For 1 week it was happening like this only. And what was happening? Lord Shiva, he was so happy hearing Ramayana. And that one section of Sita Kalyanam, Sita got married to Lord Ram, वो पढ़ रहे थे वो, तो हमेशा बार बार सुनना चाहते हैं शिव जी. So that is the reciprocation of Lord Shiva and Lord Ram, devotee and Lord. There should be no confusion in that. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.